Hello and welcome back to another edition of Windows and Current Affairs. And today, in this edition of the program, we're going to be monitoring the role of youth and media in particular in empowering the nation and empowering any country. What is exactly the role implied over youth and media when it comes to rumors, when it comes to sustainable development, when it comes to awareness, when it comes to empowering the development or the economic development inside the country, or educational reform, religious discourse, and everything that is related to the development of any country. Today we're going to be talking about that important role as youth is the leaders of the future, and how important could be they assisted with media to support them and empower them while they perform the role as the leaders of the future. And we're very delighted to be having with us Dr. Ibrahim Tehewi. He's a media counselor at the National Foundation for Human Rights. He's also UN Councilor for Development and Training. Good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Tehewi.
Nice
and of course, this time we talk about the role of youth. How important, as we start to talk about youth in particular, how important, why every time when we talk about sustainable development and the 17 goals of the sustainable development goals, we should start off by youth every time? Why in particular youth?
First of all, I'd like to say that, and I appreciate the great efforts of President Abdel Fattah Sisi, because he held many conferences related to talking about with youth. And youth conferences, Ms. Dina, I think it was very great step and a chance for all youth all over the country, Egypt, to express themselves, to talk about their challenges, to talk about their dreams, to talk about their thoughts, their hopes, their ambitions. It was a good chance, in fact. And here I'd like to say that to the youth who are watching these episodes, when President Abdel Fattah Sisi, he declared that, okay, when he wanted to talk with the youth, firstly, some of the people who in the regime said that we may make presentations, we make forums or interviews on air, okay, on TV. But one of the youth said, Mr. President, and sent that to the presidency, saying that his point of view, that no, we don't want that, we want to make conferences for youth. And luckily, President Abdel Fattah Sisi agreed to this point of view, and from this time we watched and we followed many important conferences held here in Egypt, from Sharm el-Sheikh, Alexandria, Ismailia, okay. These important, in my point of view, conferences appeared to us the new thoughts of those youth who has great ambitions and expectations, hopes, and challenges at the same time. So if you wanted to talk about the importance of youth, no country can develop without youth. So youth are the base of the pyramids to any country who wanted to develop, who wants to improve. So without youth, no nation, no country will develop. Without youth, we can't find any development.
Here we can see over the screen, as we take a flashback or a playback of the 8th National Youth Forum that is being held, I mean, every month to reflect the youth aspirations, the youth ambitions, their suggestions for the future, their projects, of course, with the attendance of His Excellency, the Head of State President Abdel Fattah Sisi, and also includes Ask the President, which is a direct contact dialogue between youth and the President himself in person. Of course, as we all know, you were talking about the participation in the decision-making process, of course, with a permission from the presidency itself. Such a great honor, and such a great empowerment and enforcement that the presidency supports the new ideas, the new aspirations, the new projects, and give them a chance, because before that, it was impossible for someone, a newcomer, to be able to prove himself without any connection, to be able to set his feet in any medium, may it be the media, may it be the engineering medium, may it be the medicine medium, or any medium, as a newcomer.
Yeah.
You have to have a connection. You have to be the son of who is who,
Yeah.
in order so that you can have this opportunity to prove yourself, or you can have this job.
Yes.
But now, while we're witnessing a new era under the leadership of President Abdel Fattah Sisi, you don't have to have a connection. You don't have to come from a connection. You don't have to be the son of whoever could it be, someone who is a hotshot,
Yeah.
in order to get the job. If you'd like to elaborate.
In fact, before these conferences occurred, what happened? Those youth didn't find any person to talk to or to talk about their dreams. But after these conferences, most of the youth began to express themselves, talk about their dreams, talk about their new projects, new thoughts, And for the first time in Egypt, we found the president himself listened and respected their point of view. And I can't forget what happened from one of the youth from Aswan, who came in front of all the people, raised his voice, and they wanted to prevent him. He asked him to come in front of all the people. They clapped for him. It was a great chance for this person to talk about his project. He is a great scientist. This youth was a great scientist who made a project related to kidney transplanting, for example, and he talked about his project in front of the president, and he promised him, President Abdel Fattah Sisi himself, to see this project and to send this project to the officials, those persons who are specialized in these fields, in the medical fields, and to see what is the importance of his research. So when all other youth see a model in front of them, like this youth in front talking with the president, expressing his thoughts and the new ideas and the projects, I think it will make and create a new atmosphere of challenging between youth. This is what I wanted to talk about. It's very, very important, because you know, Ms. Dina, that before that, all youth sitting at their home, most of them, they have hopes, yes, but they have ambitions, yes, but they couldn't express these ambitions, or they couldn't find anyone to talk to or express these thoughts with any responsible person or officials. But for the first time, when they find a model in front of them on TV in a conference like this youth who talked with the president, I think everyone step by step, he is going to create, he is going to innovate. And here we can't forget the headline of the first conference, which was peace, creativity, and development, because these three important headlines were very important in this era. Also, after these conferences nationally, what happened? He called for international conference, and I'd like to focus on the importance of holding these kind of conferences international, worldwide. What happened here? That we invited many important VIP persons who came to interview, who came to talk, who came to discuss and share the point of views between the Egyptian youth, Arabic youth, and the same time with international youth. For the first time held here in Egypt, to find that, I think also it was a great chance for our youth to see and to other cultures, to exchange informations and experiences with other cultures worldwide. It's very, very important. In many fields, in agriculture, we found many projects talking about how to, for example, I can't forget one of those who talked about our project we managed to make by group of youth who gathered together and talked about this, who managed to make a project planting, for example, wheat on the desert, in salt land, not on the ordinary desert, but in salt, with salt water. Can you imagine? With the water from the sea. And it was a project, and he hopes that this project appears and all the world sees this project. We saw the youth who talked about kidney transplanting and his new project, which may, in my point of view, if he is true or justified, it may reach the point of worldwide, and all the world can take this youth and so on. We saw the exchanging of experiences between Egyptian youth and other youth in, for example, solar powers, and how can we invest this project in for the benefit of our country. Because I'd like to say that here, when I talked with some youth in the field of solar panels and solar power, for example, I found that many youth who traveled abroad to Germany, for example, left Egypt many years before the president Abdel Fattah Sisi, because he didn't find any suitable atmosphere or environment to talk, or any person to talk to. I can't forget, I don't remember the name of one of the youth who is a scientist in the national research, in our national research association, who talked about and told me in a conference that I made this project from many years before, for more than 15 years before. So when I didn't find any person to talk to here in Egypt, I traveled to Germany and I found the suitable atmosphere, the suitable environment. I made my project related to the solar power. In fact, you may ask, what about this youth if he returned back to our country, Egypt, and we tried step by step to spread the culture of using solar power, because you know we are really delayed, okay, for this project, because here Egypt is characterized by sun all, even in winter we have sun. So we have sun the whole year. There's not only in summer but in all seasons, okay. So we are delayed in this field of, for example. So I wrote an article about the solar power, calling it challenges of the solar power in the future and the hopes for the future, talking about this conference and how this youth left his country before the president. It was before 25th January revolution. And when I talked with this youth, I found that great power, great challenge in his mind. Okay, but he traveled again to Germany. Why? Because we neglected him. So many times we talk about the youth, how they have great thoughts, we have great ambitions, we have hopes, we have ambitions, but to listen to them. This is the importance of these conferences. I'd like to say, for example, next Saturday, we have a conference, not only international or national conference, but the governor of Dakhlia, for example, is going to hold a conference for youth in Dakhlia. Do you know why? Because he faced in his point of view, he said that it's due time for our youth, especially in the north and upper Egypt, to find responsible people to talk about and to talk.
If you could excuse me, we're going to go to a short break and we'll come back to you with Mr. Ibrahim Tehewi in a few seconds, so stay with us.
ربنا اللي حميها وتمشى تعشى وخد مركب واسهر عالنيل عمرك ما تحس هنا بغربة مع شعب أصيل وأمانة ما فيش أأمن منها لانصاص الليل اتمشى تعشى وخد مركب واسهر عالنيل عمرك ما تحس هنا بغربة مع شعب أصيل وأمانة ما فيش أأمن منها لانصاص الليل هنا أهل شهامة والجدعان ياما ما تعدش في الناس الحلوة ناس يسيبوا علامة تحيا مصر وجيشها لو تغيب توحشها وبيوحش حبايبها اللمة مصر دنيا تعيشها مصر دنيا تعيشها اتمشى تعشى وخد مركب واسهر عالنيل عمرك ما تحس هنا بغربة مع شعب أصيل وأمانة ما فيش أأمن منها لانصاص الليل
Welcome back, as we're still on with our very important topic, which is the role of youth and the media when it comes to empowering and enforcing the nation. And with us, live with us here in the studios, our prominent guest, Mr. Ibrahim Tehewi. He is a media counselor at the National Foundation for Human Rights. He's also UN Counselor for Development and Training. And Dr. Tehewi, we were talking about the role of youth, the role of the national forums or the national monthly youth forums that empower youth and reflect and deliver the vision of youth to the presidency
Yeah.
and those in decision-making positions. Of course, as we all know, that in order to cope with the contemporary world and with the modern vision of sustainable development, we need to have new, fresh minds, new
course,
blood.
yes. Yeah.
But also we need the assistance of those with the lots of experience.
Yeah.
Experience comes with also with age. You can't just exclude the people who are above the 20s or above the 30s. You have also to integrate them in society and intermingle both. Take
Yeah.
the experience from this, deliver it to here, and create a sustainable development, modern sustainable development vision.
Yeah, from this vision and point of view, I'd like to say the governor of the Kahliya himself, and most of the governors are going to hold new conferences in their governorates. From their point of view, they see that next Saturday, for example, we have a great conference in the Kahliya. The governor said that with the cooperation of the Prime Minister, Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, he said that our point of view see that it's an important time to let all youth in Upper Egypt and North Egypt to participate in these conferences and to prepare them to share their ideas, their thoughts, their experiences. It's due time to talk with youth, because youth are the base of the pyramids, are very important stage. They are the power, they are the future, they are the present, they are the past, and no nation, no country develop without its youth. So the many conferences we talked, for example, I'd like to mention that Mr. Muhammad Abdul Anin, he is a great and famous businessman, said very important point in the previous seminar and conference, saying that it is a due time to say that we have to cope with the society. When we need, for example, a lot of youth and we advertise about this, sometimes we don't find because we lack the practical. Again, I think we talked many times and the many episodes there about the vocational sector, which is very, very important to link with the society. As a businessman, he sees that, frankly speaking, he said that we lack this sector and we lack this kind of youth who are qualified, who are equipped with, who are suitable for the market, for vocational sector. And it's due time to teach our students, okay, in the vocational sector practically. And they focus in this point of view, not only to work here in our companies, but when I want to train them abroad, I will find suitable power, suitable hands who are capable of working in this field. In the same time, he said, Mr. Muhammad Amanin, a very important headline, it's due time to make our country industrial world if we focus on industry. And here, in his point of view, and I'd like to add that we can't achieve our country to be industrial or agriculture if we, or without putting a plan, and this plan requires what? Requires, firstly, we have to manufacture new factories, okay, not only in the central, around Cairo, the main capital. No, we have to manufacture new factories in Upper Egypt and North Egypt. And I think, in my point of view, and we see that Mr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is mainly interested in that, and he actually manufactured and established a great project in Upper Egypt. Before the revolution, January Revolution, Upper Egypt was to some extent neglected, okay? So most of youth from Upper Egypt, from North Egypt came and traveled to Cairo to work in Cairo, and this caused a great problem in traffic jam, in accommodation, in finding a suitable house, in finding a suitable place to live, higher prices for everything, because we all live in one room because we left the 4 rooms. We have to, again, return back to Upper Egypt and North Egypt to give due interest and due care to the youth there. So, in my point of view, I see that when the governor, like governor of the Kahliya, held or is going to hold a conference in the Kahliya, this is very important, and I hope that all governors try to imitate this point of view. General Said, for example, the governor of Menofia, he held also another conference, and he invited Dr. Magdi Ashur. He is a religious model. He is a famous person who can, and he talked with youth about all their problems, not only in religion, because Dr. Magda Ashur, you know, he's a religious, famous person, but as a counselor of also the President Abdel Fattah Sisi, but he talked about the many problems that may face the youth in Menofia, and he found great thoughts, very important thoughts, and he declared there that it is a due time to, and he promised them to come to them gradually, to talk with them. And also, I found, for example, Dr. Rakhal Abdel Ghaffar, the Minister of Higher Education, he held a conference this week focusing on elections in universities. And here I'd like to appreciate these efforts, because here, by this way, in holding or making elections in universities, he, by this way, trying to teach students of the university how to apply and how to practice democracy, okay, as it should be, starting from the university. And knowing here how to talk with each other, how to express our thoughts, how to respect the other point of view. And here, I'd like to say that he appreciated also and gave great honors to the winner who got the union of these students. At the same time, he promised that saying that we are going to hold many conferences in the universities, okay? These conferences aiming to get the new thoughts from the students of the university, and talking about their hopes, their ambitions, and trying to apply them in the actual life.
Talking about elections, talking about teaching youth and new generations democracy,
Yeah.
and how it should be practiced and everything. This, in addition, you've raised a very important point, which is the necessity of raising political awareness.
Yeah.
Political awareness is not something easy, and it should come in a right system, so that because of the many disasters worldwide and conflicts is because of the wrong awareness, political awareness.
Yes, of course.
So political awareness is also over the nation's shoulder and the government's shoulder, to be able to spread it everywhere, not only for youth but for all citizens.
Yeah.
And it's the role of media to spread the right political awareness.
Here-
What is the role of media in that sense?
Here is the role of media and educational associations at the same time. Because if we talked about how to practice democracy or political life as it should be, I think, in my point of view, I see it should start from a primary stage. And I'd like to appreciate the efforts which we actually used to do while we were students, to make elections in class, okay, and to choose this group or this person will represent the culture section, this one will represent, for example, the political section, and so on. By this way, these elections, which I think you still remember, which occurred in the schools and is still happening at the schools, is very, very important for practicing real democracy, for practicing our political life, if we want. But here I'd like to say, what happened after that? What happened after these elections? This is most important. Why? Don't leave, please. And here my message to Mr. Dr. Tariq Shawi, the Minister of Education, please, I suggest that after choosing these persons, these characters, for every class, represents the class, we have to make what? We have to send them, this is my point of view, to send them to other schools, to make some kind of competitions, talking about the most important affairs happening, not only in Egypt or only the Arab countries, but worldwide, okay? And make some kind like a competition to compete between these students and ask them about some political questions, about parties, about their hopes, about their point of views of the regime here in Egypt, and comparing it with other countries, about the economy, about the social life in Egypt. What about your plans if you were the Minister of Education? For example, I asked one of the students this question. I didn't forget, or I couldn't forget what happened, because some person came and investigate. How can you bring or you put a question like that? If you were the president, this was my question in an essay writing. If you were the president, what would you do to develop your country? Am I wrong? Am I mistaken? I want here to let my students, to give them the chance or allowance to imagine if he is put in this responsible life, if he was put under responsibility, what would he do? Okay, so I want to teach him from early age, from primary, from prep stage, from second stage, to be a responsible person, do you know? So here it's very important to make competitions after elections, in prep stage, secondary stage, also university, to make competition between students, and to exchange experience between the students, to ask them about their hopes and ambitions. After that, we have to focus on the importance of the educational sectors in creating this political life, how to create or to make a new book for that reason. And here I'd like to send another message to Dr. Tariq Shawqi. Please, it's due time to teach our students, okay, and Dr. also Khalid Abdul in the university, to teach our students in preschool and higher school how to respect other opinion, how to practice political life as it should be, how to know about the fake news or false news from the social media, which we are going to talk about. It's very, very important. Again, I send another message to Dr. Tariq Shawqi, the Minister of Education. Please, it's due time to make a new book. Call it whatever the name, but this book should be focusing on what? Focusing on how to teach our students political things, political life, how to express themselves, how to respect each other point of view, how to practice political life, as I told you, in the same time, how to deal with other, how to know what's happening around him in the whole world. The sixth important thing, how to differentiate between false news, especially on social media, and true news. It's very, very important, because this generation are exposed every day to what? To social media. We left them, in fact, I'd like to say that parents left their children, educational associations left also their students for what? For the open world of social media. And now you can't overcome your children. I can't overcome my sons because of what? It's open world. So it's due time to teach them, to guide them. You are not going to prevent, no, it is no time. Thanks to this period of time.
There are guidelines
yes,
for how to use the social media.
We have only to guide them.
But then this might raise a very important question. Also, again, we go back to the political awareness.
Yeah.
Political awareness would require knowledge, would require foundation, would require experts, political experts, and would require people
Yes.
with good conscience,
Yeah.
patriotic people, so that you can get it from the good source,
Yes.
the
And-
very kind, good
here-
source. So
yes.
where is the role of media, and from where can media get the source of the right political awareness? Who could be the source? Because it's something not difficult, not easy that you spread political awareness. And who could be in charge, and in what way, so that political awareness could be spread at the right time, so that people would be able to absorb it and be able to practice it, while in the case of elections, in the case of whatever might come the country, they could be aware of what to do.
Yeah, in fact, it's a very, very important question, because I think it's due time, firstly, to make again or return back to the Minister of Media. It's very, very important to put strict rules to this sector in TV union, in the same time to media production city. It's very, very important. It's not enough. I know that Mr. The High Council of Media, it's very important, and Mr. Makram Muhammad Ahmad exerts great effort, in fact, but it's not enough, because Minister of Media here is very important in this time. And I think I sent this message to Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, and the President himself, Abdel Fattah Sisi. It's a due time to return back to the position of the Minister of Media. Why? To put plans, to put rules. I can't say that you are free. Who gave you the freedom to talk about the privacy of some persons, or to talk about the regime and to try to criticize? Okay, criticize. The President himself, he said and declared many times that, okay, you are free to criticize, but please don't destroy. There is a great gap between criticizing and destroying.
So in other words, you mean, which is completely make a lot of sense.
Yes.
This is the only common sense that you could take it, is to have the constructive criticism,
Of course,
constructive,
yes.
not destructive
Yes, not
criticism.
destructive. It's very important.
With the
And
good intention
yeah, here,
for your
how
country.
can we control that if we found, and I know some channels, space channels, TV channels, who, for example, sell air. Can you imagine? They sell air. If you wanted to buy an air hour, okay, you are free. Who you are, I don't know. You are Ibrahim, you are Ahmad, you are Muhammad, you are specialized in media, or what's your job? We don't know. So I found in now many TV channels, okay, who are selling air. It's very, very serious problem. And I send this message to Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, the Prime Minister, to put strict rules concerning this problem, because I found I don't want to name the channel which is closed, and I'd like to appreciate the great efforts of Mr. Makram Muhammad Ahmad, in fact, and Mr. Gamal Shah when he was with him, okay, in the High Council of Media. They put strict rules related to that, and we found that we have many videos. Some announcers who are not announcers, and I don't know what about their job, who came from where, because he paid money to the channel. He is free to do whatever he wants. He is free to say any false and fake words about anyone he wanted to challenge, he wanted to get rid of, he wanted to defame, and so on. So I'd like again to appreciate their great efforts, because they closed some channels which were selling airs. It's due time to respect the viewers, to respect our audience. It doesn't mean you are free or you have a platform of media to say anything you need at any time. No. It doesn't mean the freedom that you are free to do whatever you want at any time. Freedom is a responsibility. Freedom means that you are responsible for every word you say.
Freedom stops when it comes to distracting
course, yes.
The freedom of others.
Yes, and here I'd like to say also something very important. It's due time, and here I'm frankly speaking, to give some space of freedom to some announcers, especially here in TV Union, the official sector. Why? To change the idea of what is known about this sector, which is very respectable, and we have here very experienced announcers and interviewers, to give them the freedom to say and criticize. But this criticism is what is not destructive, it is constructive. It's very, very important. Why? I'm saying that because by this way we are going to challenge those space channels who are talking about our country. By this way we are going to say what's happening, what's actually happening. We will be the true and honest platform. By this way we are going to challenge again those channels who are talking every day about Egypt, about the regime of Egypt, about the as if we
just
have
blind
corruption
opposition.
in all the country. Yes,
it's just blind
it is
opposition
a
with
blind
no
and
aim
black,
whatsoever.
Black picture.
Exactly.
In fact,
of
we
course.
want here to.
And it's fake also. It's not transparent.
That's right.
But again, we need to draw the attention.
Yeah.
We draw the attention that the World Youth Forum is due next month.
Yes, of course.
And everyone, not only youth, is awaiting that huge. A big event that is held annually, and we're going to go to a short break, and in which we're going to remember the World Youth Forum, and we'll come back to you. So stay with us.
سبع حضارات رسمت شخصية مصر. مصر نقطة اللقاء لكل الحضارات والثقافات، بتجدد الدعوة للإبداع والتنمية والسلام لكل شباب العالم من 14 ل 17 ديسمبر في شرم الشيخ سيناء. منتدى شباب العالم حيث تلتقي الحضارات، تحت رعاية السيد الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي رئيس الجمهورية.
So the World Youth Forum, mark that on over your calendar from 14th to the 17th of December. And in 2 minutes, we need it also to talk about rumors.
It's very, very important topic and point of view, because we suffer these days and many days before from rumors spread on social media networking sites. It's very, very dangerous, and it has its advantages and disadvantages. The advantages of social media, you know that you can follow what's happening here and there, up and down and everywhere, as we say, okay? But on the other hand, we can't listen. This is my advice to all viewers, not all youth. Please don't listen to anything. Don't please share anything that comes to you on Twitter, on Facebook, on WhatsApp, because I know some companies who invest you as a viewer, as a user on WhatsApp to share, for example, some factories are fighting with other factories. So they say this company has a problem in so and so and so, and you share, okay, without knowing the truth. You are sharing some fake news or false news coming from where you don't know. Please, it's due time to respect our thoughts, to respect other thoughts, and not to share anything on social media. It's due time to our parents and for parents and educational sectors to guide the students, to guide our children to see what they are talking, and to give them the chance to talk with us, to express their point of views, to ask about this video. My father, this video is why it's talking about that. I found, no, I correct him. I say, no, this is a fake video. And I can't forget, finally, a PhD doctor spread and shared a video which is fake video. The translation of Arabic is totally differently from English. And when I made a comment, what happened? He made a spam. He made a spam, why? Because I cleared his ignorance. Excuse me, because he is ignorant. But by this way, he is not cultured person to
He's
share
not
anything.
qualified, yes,
To share anything in front of you. I think, what did you leave for ignorant people or common people or uneducated people? It's very, very important in this duration of time we are to save and protect our country, not to share anything.
Right. On that note, Mr. Ibrahim Tehewi, you are a media counselor at National Foundation for Human Rights. You're also UN Counselor for Development and Training. Thank you so much for coming
I'm really
this
grateful.
evening.
Thank you.
And I guess on this note, we're going to be ending it here with the Windows and Current Affairs. Thank you very much for joining us. Until we see you again, that's a goodbye.